This is the Xpeng P7 in lime green. Great color, huh? This is not the standard Xpeng P7. This is the Wing Edition. And that means that it's not only the performance version, it also has these special doors. That's the startup sound, by the way. You can open and close the doors with the key fob. Welcome to It's Only Electric. This is where we review fully electric cars. Size-wise, the P7 is in between the Tesla Model 3 and the Tesla Model S. It's more towards and more close to the Tesla Model S. So the total length is 4.9 meters and it has a wheelbase of 3 meters. So it's a big car, it's a big sedan. It weighs in at 2,180 kilograms. So this version with the Wing Edition doors weighs 20 kilograms more than the normal performance version. So driving on 19-inch wheels, 245/45 all around, so not staggered. Driving on all four wheels with a permanent magnet motor at the back and an induction motor at the front. So it's more or less rear-wheel drive bias. And on motorway speeds, it will turn off the induction motor in the front to save a lot of energy. So the total output is 473 horsepower and 757 Newton meters of torque. It does 0 to 100 in 4.1 seconds and has a top speed of 200 kilometers per hour. It is a quick car. The suspension is tuned together with Porsche. So we're gonna test how it feels to drive, how the balance is between comfort and sportiness, but that's very soon. Let's continue with the exterior of the car. NMC battery with a gross capacity of 86.2 kilowatt hours and a net capacity of 82.7 kilowatt hours. It has a VLTP range of 505 kilometers. The entry-level version only drives on the rear wheels, has the same battery capacity and a longer range, so 575 VLTP kilometers. The P7 comes with the Xpilot 2.5 as a standard. That's Xpeng's own self-driving capability and hardware. So that means that the car is equipped with 12 USS sensors, but the Wing Edition has 14, so 2 more, and that's for each door. So 1 extra USS sensor on the wing doors. 12 cameras, 1 inside the cabin, just above the steering wheel. The rest, 11, are outside for the self-driving capabilities. 5 high-precision millimeter radars. So what about the charging? 175 kilowatts of peak charging power, AC charging, and 11 kilowatts 3-phase support for home charging, DC charging. You cannot open the charge port from outside of the car. You need to use the key fob or from the screen inside the car. So a traditional CCS2 connector. So it can charge from 0 to 80% in 29 minutes. So it's time to look at the practicality. Let's start with the boot. Powered liftgate with a kick sensor, should be in between the X and the P. Let's see if it works. Come on. Yeah, there it is. Traditional sedan opening, 440 liters of storage space. Nothing underneath here, just room for a triangle and a safety vest. So that's all. Foldable seats for some added practicality, split into 40 and 60. And look at this key fob. Key fob comes as a standard, a very good looking key fob. Looks like a car, maybe a bit stolen from Tesla, but still really good. If you want to steal a design, steal the good designs. This one looks better than Tesla's key fobs. A good functionality. Charge port, doors, boot, everything can be operated with a key fob. So it's time to check the interior. This is equipped with the comfort package included in the Wing Edition, and that's more or less the only extra equipment you can add to the car. It's almost 40,000 Swedish crowns or 3,500 euros. So the comfort package adds Real Nappa leather, this stitching interior design, ventilated seats at the front, heated seats are standard both in the front and at the back. It also adds the premium sound system from Din Audio, a really great sounding sound system, 18 speakers, whereas 2 of them are inside the backrest of the driver's seat, and that's used for navigation and for listening on things without disturbing the rest of the cabin. So that's a good package. I really recommend. I would go for that because it adds a lot of extra value. It also adds soft closing doors, and for the performance version, not the Wing Edition, there is soft closing doors on all 4 positions, a Qi charger on the left side, and some extra storage for another phone without charging it. Hidden cup holders, a big storage compartment without any lights and USB ports here, but you can store a lot, so it's big. 2 screens, one 10.2-inch instrument cluster, one 15-inch media screen in the center where you control everything. This is running on X Smart OS. X Smart OS is running on a Snapdragon Qualcomm computer and is based on Android. So you clearly see the traces of Android when looking at the design elements and in the menus. It does not support Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, and Xpeng clearly states that they are going to release a lot of applications for your different needs. Currently, you have Spotify and TuneIn and as extra applications, but this is going to grow. I can't tell you everything, but great things are going to happen with the operating system. A lot of apps are on the way. So cross your fingers for a quick release of that. When it comes to operating system, this is not totally finished yet, but it's a lot better than the one I tested in the G9. It works really good. You have a lot of settings. I think the navigation works fine because you don't have any buttons at all whatsoever in the car, in the cabin. It's only touch control on the screen. But the bonus is actually that the voice control is amazingly good. Let's try it. 4 different microphones in all 4 positions. So it automatically detects the speaker and does the action for that specific position. So if I say like this, "Hey Xpeng,
Yes.
close my window."
Closing the driver window.
So it automatically detects my voice in this microphone and understands that it's the driver that's talking and therefore closes my window. And it really works good. I'm actually shifting the drive modes, changing the temperature. It is by far the best voice controlled entertainment system I have ever tried in a car before. "Hey Xpeng,
Yes.
open my window."
Opening the driver's side window.
And it works all the time. It also works whilst playing high volume music. And there is a lot of commands available already, so impressive. When it comes to interior materials and design, it is a mix between sportiness and classiness. Integrated ambient lighting, both here and on top of the panel. The top of the panel actually turns off whilst driving. When it comes to the dashboard design, it's a mix between sportiness and classiness. The materials is good, soft touch here. This is hard plastic, but it feels better than this kind of a cheap plastic. Digital hidden ventilation, so adjustable on the screen. Very nice door sides, door trims with all the stitching everywhere. You have the stitching details all over the car, both in the front seat and at the back, on the door sides, the handles, on the seats, and not only on the front seats, also at the back seats, as I just mentioned. So the stitching details, the cockpit, the screen layout, I think it's a competitive design. Looks good, it looks fresh, it looks modern, and it feels good. It's not that much a hard plastic. It feels like a solid build and good material choices. You can open and operate the door in 3 different ways. So you have buttons here. They are a bit hard to, to use, and I think the purpose of those is for closing and opening the door when you are outside, or at least closing the door when you stand outside. So you can use this one for operating it. And that's also a manual latch, so you can pull that and push up the door if there is no battery left, for instance. By pressing this, I can open that door. So it's time for checking out the back seat. So now I'm sitting behind myself, so the front seat, driver's seat, is adjusted after my liking and my position. And I'm 6'3", 193 centimeters tall. So I'm not the best tester of the back seat, but at least it gives you a good idea of how it looks and the size of it. So I fit here in the back seat, my knees just slightly touching the front seat. So my feet are actually just able to squeeze in underneath the driver's seat. That's good. It's a fairly straight sitting position, but I must say that the back bench gives you a good support for your legs. It's one of the better back seats I have tried when it comes to leg support. I almost never touch the seating part with my thighs, but at this time and in this car, I almost do. So better support than a lot of other alternatives on the market. When it comes to headroom, I feel the glass roof. So it's about one finger in between, so 2 centimeters of extra space over my head. I don't feel the glass, I just feel it with my hair. So I think that's okay for a back seat. Feels a bit smaller than the back seat in a Model S, but still enough room for 2 grown-ups. So that's good. Nice quality. And as you see, Xpeng has gone all in when it comes to the back seat design. And the Wing Edition is equipped with this stitching that matches the exterior of the car. So the lime green color is also part in the interior. You see all the stitching details on the door trims and on the armrests, but also on the sitting position and on the backrest. The color combination goes all the way to the safety belts. So all 5 positions has colored safety belts matching the exterior color. It's equipped with seat heating on both outer positions and of course in the front. You can operate the seat heater by pressing the button here on the door. 2 USB ports, 1 USB-C and 1 USB-A. So you have everything you need here in the back seat. A nice storage pocket for your phone, speakers everywhere from DIN Audio, 1 here at the door, 1 on the B pillar, 3 up in the roof for the surround sound, and a subwoofer in the boot. So in total 18 speakers. A lot of them are actually placed for the back seat. Gives you a great sound even from here. The instrument cluster design and layout is very similar to what you get in the Tesla Model S and Tesla Model X. You can actually change the content on each side. So for instance, you can choose between odometer, energy, map, music, status, and that's tire pressure, for instance. So we can choose on both sides. So now I'm running the odometer for seeing consumption and direct consumption on the left side. So a good portion of customization. Let's put in status. So if you're used to drive a Model S or a Model X, you will really quickly get used to the instrument cluster. And you see the visualization on the instrument cluster is a lot designed as Tesla. So you see the lanes, you see all the obstacles, people, bicycles, other cars, etc. So works very similarly. The gear selector is on the exact same position. Looks like Mercedes gear selector. You also have a customization button here on the left where you can customize your own type of action. For pressing that one, I have activated 360 view. So by pressing that button, you get an open the 360 camera. That's a neat feature. So let's change to sport mode. Hey Xpeng.
Hello.
Change to sport mode.
Sport mode is activated.
Narrow road. So sport mode is active. You will see the nice animation. You see, red road, but the wheels aren't spinning. Maybe that's an upcoming feature from Xpeng. So there is 4 different drive modes: standard, eco, sport, and one pedal. The one pedal mode is actually quite good. It feels a bit numb when you drive it, and it doesn't really come to a full stop. Now I'm actually going downwards. Let's check on a more flat surface. I think here is good. Does it come to a full stop? No, it does not. It keeps rolling, so it's not 100% one pedal driving, but I think it's a good functionality. If you don't want to use one pedal, you can, for instance, run on eco and separately choose between low or high region. So the region is actually separated from the 3 standard drive modes. So when driving on eco, you really feel that the power output is limited, a lot actually. And I guess that's good because the 473 horsepower isn't needed when you eco drive. And you really feel the change in power when you activate sport mode. So let's do that. And try a little bit of a acceleration to feel the difference. The suspension actually feels good. It feels like a good mix between comfort and sportiness. It is not that uncomfortably sporty, not that harsh as other cars can be. It feels like a good mix, but you still get the support. There is not much of a side roll. So I think you can push this really good on the right roads because there is plenty of power. It's not that aggressive as the Model Y Performance I have, but it more comes slowly, and I think that's by purpose to give the driver and the passengers a little bit of a more pleasant acceleration experience. So it doesn't explode the same way, but it comes not immediately, but it builds up the power in a more sophisticated way. So 0 to 100 is done in 4.1 seconds. And I will try that and see if we can match that time in real life in this current driving conditions. So when it comes to the suspension, there is no differences in different drive modes. So it's the same setup in all drive modes. And you can adjust the steering wheel separately from all the different drive modes. So for instance, now I'm driving on the sport setting for the steering wheel. So it's a bit more torque in the steering wheel. Hey Xpeng.
Hello.
Set steering wheel to standard.
Unable to adjust the steering wheel boost. Please straighten the steering wheel at low speed and try again.
You see, okay. The Nappa leather seats, as I said, are ventilated with the comfort package in the front. And the comfort in the seat is more to the sporty side than the comfortable side. I think it could have been a bit softer. The Xpeng G9 I tried was a lot softer, a lot more leaning towards comfort than this one is. But it is also two different type of cars. This is more or less a sport sedan compared to a very big SUV. So I guess the consumer wants different driving experiences on such a different car. Okay, let's try it on some gravel and bumpy road and see how the suspension behaves. It feels like a fairly silent car. It's not on par with the Neo ET7 I have tried earlier, but it feels a lot more silent than the Teslas I have tried. So cabin noise is decent. The suspension is fine and silent. Yes, it isn't too harsh. It handles the bumps very neatly, I mean, without being too bumpy and too harsh. So it feels like a good mix between sportiness and comfort. And I don't know how much Porsche have been involved in the development of the driving dynamics and suspension of the P7, but it doesn't matter because it feels like it's finely tuned and a good mix. Because when I push the car, it handles it good. It doesn't do much body roll at all, but at the same time is not too harsh. So it feels like a good combo and a good mix between sportiness and comfort. Good job, Xpeng, and maybe Porsche. So that's it. I have tested the driving dynamics, the suspension, the different drive modes, the regen modes. It's a really comfortable and nice car to drive with a lot of power, and you really feel it. It's a good package. And the price point of this one is 840,000 Swedish crowns or 74,000 euros. And that's the Wing Edition with the comfort package. And the entry level of the P7 cost 599,000 Swedish crowns, and that's the rear-wheel drive version, 50,000 euros. It has longer wheel-to-P range, so 575 kilometers. It's almost the half price of a Tesla Model S. That's a good package. Nice build quality, good design, good technology. So a good and competitive package. And if you want to stand out, go for the Wing Edition in this lime green color combination. You will get a lot of attention if that's what you want. The voice control is by far the best voice control I have ever tried. Almost all commands I have tried works fine. You can open the windows, you can close and open the doors, change the cabin temperature, change the drive modes, change the stiffness of the steering wheel, a lot of functionality. Open the boot. There's a lot of things you can do with only your voice, and it works flawless almost every try. That's the first time I actually spontaneously can work out the voice control without reading the manual. And that's really impressive. So that's it. That's my summary of the Xpeng P7 Wing Edition. It's a great car. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It will help me to grow the channel and create more content like this for you guys. So as always, stay electric. Thank you for watching. Speak to you soon.